I am Dr. Nelson. I am a physical therapist that works at Physio Partners. I am here today to try and give you some ideas on ways that you can work out at home. This 7-minute workout is going to specifically work on the glutes and the hips, specifically the outside of the hips. This is really good for anybody who has knee problems, back problems, runners, and if you're having any problems with any of these exercises, or you can even talk to your physical therapist before you do these exercises if you're concerned about starting this. They might want to adjust how I am demonstrating some of these exercises to fit you, and they might also want to switch out how you're doing some of them. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact your physical therapist. They are doing telehealth visits at this time. The only equipment you really need is a TheraBand. You can do this exercise with shoes or without shoes. I prefer without shoes. I'm using a mat so that I don't slip on my hardwood floors. All right, so I also have my interval timer. I'm going to start that right now. We're going to start with jumping jacks. All right, so with jumping jacks, you can make this as easy or as hard as you want to. One thing that you want to really watch out for is that your toes aren't starting to point in or out. You want to try and keep them going straight forward. And then you want your knees to stay pointed over the middle part of your toes. If you're having any shoulder problems with this, do not bring your arms up quite so high. And make sure that you're not getting your arms up towards your ears. That will cause problems too. We get a 10-second break, and then we're going to go into clamshells. You can do these with your back flat up against a wall. I oftentimes instruct it that way in the clinic. You can also do the back of the couch. What you're looking out for on this one is you want to try and use the gluteus medius muscles, the muscles back here, not the tensor fascia muscles right here up front. The other thing you don't want to do is rock backwards while you're doing this, which is why the wall can be helpful. And you don't want to be arching your back a lot. You want to try and keep it in a nice neutral. A wall is also good at helping you find that. The other thing is, let's demonstrate on the other side. You want to try and keep your head down on your arm. If you prop it up like this, you'll start to overuse these muscles. Everyone has an easier and a hard side. This is my harder side. My left side is always weaker than my right. When you're doing this, you're actually working both sides. The other side is actually keeping me, my right side right now, is actually keeping me from rocking backwards as my left side lifts up. So usually the second side that you do will be harder than the first side. All right, the next exercise is segmental bridges. There are lots of variations on bridges. We're gonna do, this is the one that I find to be the most helpful for most of my patients in the clinic. What you want to do is you really want to arch or rotate your pelvis backwards, pull in your stomach, make sure you're not pushing it out, and rock up. And then you're going to come back down. You want to make sure that your hips are going up evenly. Oftentimes people want to do something like this, or it's going to kind of skew like that. You want to try and keep it even. We're really trying to target the stomach muscles and the abs, so don't arch your back on that one. The next one we're going to do is fire hydrants. So you can get on all fours, put the weight through this part of your hand. Then you're just going to lift up one leg like you're doing, like you're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. You want to make sure that your back stays completely flat and level. It's not going off to the side. You also want to make sure that your body isn't shifting from side to side as you do this. Make sure your back isn't arching, like that as well. Then we're going to do the other side. You don't have to turn around, just so you can see what I'm doing a little better. Make sure that you're keeping your shoulder blades down and keeping your head in a nice neutral position. Not here, not there. You don't want your shoulders to start crunching up. Keep them pulled back and down. Make sure your back isn't rotating. Good. All right. The next exercise we're gonna do is bird dogs. Staying in the same position. Now you're going to one arm, one leg. Once again, you're trying to make sure that your back is not arching at all in any direction. You should be able to keep a glass of water on there. I don't recommend doing that though. Or a stick, a broomstick, and it shouldn't move at all as you do this. You wanna make sure you're not arching or twisting. Head again in that nice neutral position. Next we're gonna do side steps. You'll need a band around your feet. If you have a nice long space, you can do it in that nice long space. I'm just gonna do it here on my mat. If you have a long space, go down one direction the whole time, and then go down the other time for the other 30 seconds. I do not have a long space, so we're gonna do 2 sets of this one. So cues on this one. We're gonna get to rest here in a second. You wanna make sure that your toes are staying straight forward. You wanna make sure that you're not leaning away. And ideally you wanna be coming into contact with the outside part of that heel as you go. So ideally we're not doing this, okay? We wanna stay straight, toes straight forward, knees over the toes. So it's almost like you're feeling toes in, knees out. All right. Next exercise is squats. All right, you can make these really small or you can hold onto a countertop or a chair. I want you to think about sticking your butt backwards as you go, instead of letting your knees come forward. We don't want to do that. You want to think about sticking your butt out backwards. You can use your arms as a counterweight and reach out straight in front of you. If you watch my knees, you want them to go over towards the middle of your feet, not the inside. And you want to make sure you have good weight kind of coming through your big toe. All right, last exercise is going to be donkey kicks. Back down on the ground, this part of your arm or hand, and you're just lifting this one up, and then you're lifting this leg up, keeping it at 90-degree angle. Make sure you're not arching your back or your head. We don't want to do that. Make sure you're not shifting as you do this. You want to keep it nice and flat at a nice 90-degree angle. You can make this harder by adding a band around this as well. All right, that is it. If anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to send us a message or contact your therapist. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope we get to see you back in the clinic soon.